Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. Today we're going to be talking about the Houston Rockets potentially signing small forward slash power forward Stanley Johnson for the Houston Rockets' last roster spot going into training camp. The Houston Rockets have one remaining roster spot going into 2023 training camp, and going in to training camp, which is a week from today. Media day is 6 days away. And then also day one of training camp is 7 days away, and probably you will see the Rockets fill this last roster spot in the last couple of days. Front runners for the last roster spot include guys like Kent Bazemore, Will Barton, Austin Rivers, and Terrence Davis. But somebody we're going to be talking about is Stanley Johnson, who is mostly known for playing. Mostly known, being a first-round draft pick for the Detroit Pistons. He did play with Fred VanVleet, so this would be a familiar face for Fred VanVleet in the Houston Rockets starting point guard, because he played with Fred VanVleet in the 2019-20 season and 2020-21 season. In the 2019-20 season, he played 25 games with the Raptors. The 2020-21 season, played 61 games with 13 starts. 2 years with the Raptors. He averaged 2.4 points per game in the 2019-20 season. And in the 2020-21 season, he averaged 4.5 points per game with 3 rebounds per game. So he did play with Houston Rockets starting point guard Fred VanVleet. Stanley Johnson's pretty much been a bust. He was a lottery pick. I believe he was a top 10 pick in his draft, and his best year, he's never even averaged 10 points per game in a season. His best season came with the Detroit in the 2017-18 season, averaging 9 points per game and 4 rebounds. And I know he's not been a great player, but I think he's a solid player to add into the roster for someone who is, is a guy that is, going to be that 15th man, that 15th standard contract. The Rockets right now, they have 14 players on standard contracts, so you can have 15 going into training camp. So that means the Rockets can sign one more player to a standard contract. And I think Stanley Johnson, for a 15th guy on a standard deal, is a solid player. I mean, let's go over his stats over his last couple years in Los Angeles and San Antonio. This year with the Spurs, he played 30 games with the Spurs, averaging 16 minutes per game, averaging 6 points per game, and he averaged over 3 rebounds per game. His three-point percentage was 45%. I think another reason why this could be a really good addition for the Houston Rockets, and this is maybe a reason why Ime Udoka and the Rockets might want to bring him in. He's a good defender and he's a good three-point shooter, and I think that is one reason why the Houston Rockets very well could want to bring him in. 2021-22 season with the Lakers, he played 48 games with 27 starts, averaging 23 minutes per game. He averaged 7 points per game with 3.2 rebounds per game and 2 assists per game, averaging 1 steal per game and 0.3 blocks per game, with his three-point percentage being 32%. Like I said, I already went over his years in Toronto, 2019-20 and 2020-21 season. Besides that, his years in Detroit, played 3.5 seasons with Detroit, played a half a season with the Pelicans. He's never really been that successful in the NBA, but he's turned into a solid role player in the NBA. And I think it'd be a solid addition for the Houston Rockets to bring him in for that last roster spot. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy them or thoughts on the potential signing for the Rockets, and peace out. Go Rockets.